this coming weekend is Nashville, a wacky street track, in my opinion. They go over a bridge. I think that's the coolest thing, though. But the track is built uh, around Nashville. They go over the bridge. Just awesome track, pretty wacky track. Has some great racing there the past couple years. Uh, Dixon pulled off the dub last year. Could this be his chance? I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but is this his best chance to break that winless streak?
I think it is. I think going in, I mean, we're going to have a couple oval races, but we've obviously seen New Garden dominate there. But I really like Dixon this weekend. He's had some really, really good races, and I'd like to see a mid Ohio level performance out of him going into Nashville. And if we do, who knows? He could definitely close the gap on points up to New Garden there, he's sitting 40 points back from. So you never know what's going to happen. But I like Scott Dixon this weekend a lot to repeat over at Nashville.
So as I'm looking right now at my notes from last week, I wrote down our podium finishers that we all picked. I picked Dixon, McLaughlin, and Will Power as my podium. You picked Marcus Ericsson, then Dixon, and then Pagenaud as your podium. Then Chris picked Dixon, Rossi, and Newgarden for his podium. I don't feel like I'm going to change mine, but would you change your podium?
No, I kind of like where I'm at. I kind of like where I'm sitting. I still kind of think, Marcus Ericsson needs a really big run to get himself back going again. And, they started the year well, the very first race, and just it hasn't really been there. I mean, obviously they had a chance in the Indy 500 and wasn't able to capitalize. But ever since then, he's kind of been up and down and up and down. So he needs a really good run. And I think Nashville's a good opportunity for Marcus Ericsson. I think this is where he steps up. This is a guy, mind you, that a lot of people had pegged to win the championship at the beginning of the year. And so I really do expect him to turn it on these last 5 races of the year. I think Nashville's a good opportunity. So I'm fully confident in keeping Marcus Ericsson number 1. And obviously I've already talked up Scott Dixon, so having him at number 2, you could change out Marcus Ericsson and Scott Dixon, but I really think it's going to be a battle between the two of them. And then, I have to include Pagenaud up in the top 3 because obviously I think Pagenaud knows his points lead's large enough that, he just needs to finish well. And, he doesn't need to win races, but a solid 3rd place finish, that'll do it. That's a win every week. The rest of the season, that's a win for him.
Oh, definitely. And and I may have mentioned this last week, but you've got a clean sweep for Ganassi for the podium. So that's going to be fun to see if that actually happens on Sunday.
We'll see. It's a bold statement. It's all guys that I truly, genuinely trust, and I think that are going to have good weekends. I mean, come on. Pagenaud, been solid all year. Dixon, right, won here last year. And then Marcus Ericsson, guy needing to really have a boost. I mean, I think the biggest wild card would be Marcus Ericsson in that equation, but I've got faith in him. I really do.
Dixon's one of those guys who you can always rely on. He's been in the game for literally 20 years, and he knows what he's doing. He's won 6 championships. I always want to see him win a 7th. I don't think it'll happen, but Dixon's one of those guys who you can rely on to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, it'll be interesting to see if he gets it done on Sunday. I hope he does.
Oh, definitely. And like I said, it'll be, if he doesn't get it done on Sunday, it'll be a year-long winless drought for Scott Dixon. And that's almost unheard of for Dixon because throughout the early 2000s and 2010s, he was the man to beat. And
absolutely.
It's just crazy to think about. The guys we watched growing up. Obviously they're not invincible. We would know Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon, but and that still holds true with Scott Dixon because, like I said, he was winning 5 races, what seemed like every year, and winning championships every other year. But that's racing. But some breaking news from earlier: Simon Pagenaud is still out from his violent barrel roll in practice for Mid Ohio. he released a statement on Twitter saying that he is still hoping to get back into his seat sometime this year. And Linus Lundqvist, I think that's how you say his name. I'm just going to say that that's how you say his name. Is subbing for Simon Pagenaud. If you don't know who he is the 2022 IndyCar NXT champion. So, very promising young man who has obviously a bright future with him. He's a champion in the sport, a development champion nonetheless. So we'll see how he does. I believe this is his first start. I would assume that it is his first start on Sunday, considering he is coming up through the ranks. If you guys don't know what the IndyCar NXT is, it's basically the Xfinity Series for IndyCar. That's the best way that it can be described. And they always produce great racing.
It's always that middle tier that produces some really good racing.
It's the same thing with F2. It's weird.
Those young guns, man, they're hungry. Need those opportunities.
Oh, definitely. So, either way, Simon Pagenaud is still out, unfortunately. He'll be... He's still hoping to get back in the car. I want to see him back in the car. But, as I said, Linus Lundqvist is in the seat for Pagenaud. Once again, he is the 2022 IndyCar NXT champion. No, he doesn't carry around a fancy belt like they do in NXT, but my point stands.
I'll have to check it out. I've actually never really watched any of their races. So I saw that they are on this weekend. They're on Peacock. All of their races are on Peacock. So fortunately, we know Chris has never seen any of their races. But
yeah, they usually have some entertaining racing over in NXT. So that is pretty much all we got for our IndyCar this weekend. Be sure to tune in. Are they on NBC this weekend or USA? I believe they are on NBC.
They are on NBC this weekend. So is NASCAR also on NBC this weekend? Nope, NASCAR is on USA. Dang.
Yeah, go figure.
Why can't we do NASCAR's at 2:30, so that it starts at 11:30 my time. I guess it could overlap. But like
it would overlap. They don't want another situation like what was it, 2018 Las Vegas and Sonoma for IndyCar, where it was the championship finale, and Las Vegas had like 2 red flags to open the playoffs with, and it overlapped into the IndyCar start time.
Yeah, I imagine they don't want to have something like that again. At the same time, Michigan doesn't have any lights, does it?
No, it does not.
Dang.
That's the one
Put
thing
lights at Michigan.
About Michigan. Put lights at Michigan. I would love a Michigan night race.
I miss the California night races. They were when I was too young to really remember, and now they don't have the California night races anymore. And I'll be honest, man, I'm not cool with it. It's not cool. Bring them back.
Well, I got good news and I got bad news for you. You won't have to worry about that anymore.
What?
I know it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is. It's extremely heartbreaking.
Yeah, rip Fontana.
I wish we could get some night races on the short track. Maybe
heck, they might.
Lucky.
They might. You never know. That, like I said, we don't get paid to make these decisions. That is pretty much all that we have for our IndyCar segment for now. Let's move on to NASCAR.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this most recent edition of the Outside Line podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to check us out on Spotify at The Outside Line. And if you liked Christopher, Jacob, and I's opinions, make sure to check us out on Bag Sports page for more articles and opinions about F1, NASCAR, and IndyCar. Thank you again for watching The Outside Line.